Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talking Housewives with Dee. I'm Dee, and today we are talking about The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 1. So we have the season premiere, and when I tell you guys I was locked in on this premiere, okay? I was sitting on my couch at 5 o'clock on the dot waiting for this, and they did not disappoint. This was a really strong opening episode. I would say that this first episode is probably better than half of the season of Orange County right now. So it was good. I mean, there was about 4 or 5 arguments. Everyone was getting it. It wasn't even just focused on one person, even though this episode was very Lisa Barlow heavy and she wasn't even in it. It's great. So I was so excited, and I'm very excited to recap this. This will be my first ever full episode recap. I've only been doing trailers so far, so this is the full episode. I'm gonna try my best to keep it short and sweet. No promises though, because I do yap a lot. So I'm gonna try to keep it in the 30-minute mark or shorter. We'll see. I took very quick notes so that I can get through it. And this episode was pretty easy to take notes on because we were literally in just one location. So it was great. Some thoughts that I will say before I start the recap, and then we'll go back to it afterwards. My opinion on a certain housewife has changed a little bit. And I feel like your opinion probably changed on her too. But maybe I'm alone in this. I'm not sure. But yeah, let's get into it. Also, I do apologize if I sound stuffy. I'm sick. And also, thank you guys so much for sticking around and listening. I know it's only a few of you guys here, but I really do appreciate you guys listening, and I don't know, it really means a lot to me. So yeah, thanks. That being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So we have the opening of this kind of like a Blair Witch Project type of feel. It's like a camcorder, and Mary is doing a voiceover. It's very dramatic, very Salt Lake City. So after that whole thing with the Blair Witch Project, it's kind of like showing what's happening in the episode, and then we go over to Angie pulling up in this huge RV, and apparently her and Mary planned this little trip for the girls, but I don't think Mary had absolutely anything to do with it. But it's Angie and Mary's trip. So Angie's like, come on girl, get in. So they get in, and the RV is really nice, by the way. It's a really nice RV. There's like 4 beds up in there. It's really cute. The other girls are waiting outside of Heather's Beauty Lab and Laser. So there's Heather, Brittany, Whitney, Meredith, and Bronwyn. So they're outside waiting, and they're like, where's Lisa? And oh, Lisa's not going to be coming on the trip. So that's going to be a whole big thing later on. So the girls are thinking that they're going on like this island vacation because the invitation they got had like a private jet, bikinis and all that. But I'm not really sure why they thought that, because everyone was dressed in winter clothes. So I think they knew where they were going, but Brittany was wearing a bikini. So maybe Brittany just didn't get the memo. I don't know. So yeah, so RV pulls up, and they're like, oh, like, what the hell is this? And so they get in, and then we're taken back to was it season 2? Just like the best scene ever, when the SWAT team comes up to the Sprinter van at Beauty Lab and Laser, and they're looking for Jen Shaw. So they see outside there's like a SWAT team, and they're like, what's going on? Or like, where's Whitney Rose? So Whitney, oh, by the way, Whitney looks great with her red hair. I know that's a very unpopular opinion, but I think she looks fantastic. I think everyone looks incredible. They all look so good this season. Anyways, so yeah, they're like, where's Whitney Rose? So she comes out, and like, you're under arrest. And it turns out it's just strippers. So the strippers get on the bus, but they're not like really stripping down to like, you know, their underwear. They just take off their shirt, do a little body roll, you know, that's it. So I don't know, Whitney just wanted to make it fun. So yeah. Anyways, so now we're back on the RV, and then Bronwyn says she's not sure about the RV because everyone's in like close quarters, and she's a germaphobe, which I'm just gonna say it. Didn't she have dog shit all around her house, like dried up dog shit and pee everywhere in her house, and she's a germaphobe? Like, I like Bronwyn, but sis, come on now. You know, girl, anyways. So, that's just so, like, okay, I'm gonna tell you my thoughts about this at the end of the episode, okay? So, Whitney starts talking about Lisa not being there. So, like, okay, they're driving now, right? And Mary made a funny comment because Heather's like, are we going north, south, east, or west? And Angie's like, oh, we're going south. We're going to pass my house. And then Mary's like, oh, we should drop you. Brittany said, we're going to pass, my house. And Mary's like, oh, yeah, we should drop you off. Mary cannot stand Brittany. After watching this episode, I feel like no one can stand Brittany. But, again, unpopular opinion, I kind of like Brittany. I do. I'm just going to say it. Fight me. I do. Okay, so yeah, after that Mary's little comment, Whitney starts talking about Lisa not being there, and Brittany is like defending Lisa. Apparently her and Lisa became really good friends. Don't know when that happened. Maybe off season they became really close, and like Lisa's like a sister to her, which okay. So yeah, Brittany's like defending Lisa. And then she like just randomly just throws out like, what about your business, Whitney? Like, it's all over the internet. So you guys, I'm not sure if you saw this, but like on TikTok, it was this girl saying that like she was a part of an MLM, that's multi-level marketing. That's like, you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys should go on the anti-MLM Reddit. So that's like Amway, Primerica, Herbalife, Cincy, like basic, or like Monet, like you guys know what it is. Like you get into these things, like Mary Kay, sorry, like you get into like these pyramid schemes, and like you think that you're like a business owner, but like you're really making like no money, and only the people at the top of the pyramid is making money. So yeah, basically, I guess that's what Whitney's, allegedly, that's what her business was. And allegedly Justin was part of a huge MLM before he got fired. And that's where he made all her money, allegedly. Don't know, but that's what I'm hearing. So yeah, Brittany just comes for Whitney's business because these girls on TikTok were saying how they were part of an MLM done by Whitney Rose, and they basically got screwed. And so then Whitney claps back. She's like, well, Brittany, how do you make your money? Sucking dick? Goddamn, Whitney. Wow. And Brittany didn't really have anything to say after that. Oh my god, okay. So now they're at the campsite, and it's like an RV park. And they have lunch. The lunch looks really good, by the way. Sandwiches and all that, really nice. They're all sitting around the table. Again, they are discussing Lisa. Oh, before they eat lunch, Brittany goes around and gives them camcorders. I don't know. This had to be like something that production did, because like how can Brittany afford like 10 camcorders to give everybody? It's a little weird. And plus, like, obviously, like, production set it up because Brittany was talking about she was going on an island. Like, why do you have camcorders? Like, whatever. That was a little scripty. But this show is very camp, so, whatever. So yeah, they're on the table, and then Lisa comes up again, a topic of Lisa, and basically, Bronwyn is like, well, she has like 5 lawsuits against her, and I think I mentioned this in my trailer breakdown, that Lisa does have like lawsuits. Like, she owes people a lot of money, and allegedly she owes some money, and Bronwyn was just basically saying like, oh, Lisa can talk about our lives, but we know we can't talk about hers. Like, she's fake. She doesn't share anything with anyone. Like, she owes people so much money. Like, she's really going in on Lisa, and Bronwyn's mad at Lisa because remember Lisa at the reunion called her out, saying that she never bought that $4 million necklace, which we're about to get into in a minute. She never bought the necklace or anything. She didn't buy anything, and she was acting like she did. So, yeah, so Bronwyn has a bone to pick with Lisa. And then Heather calls Bronwyn out. Was like, well, Bronwyn, you're a liar. Like, you lied about the necklace. And then in the confessional, Bronwyn admits that she lied about the necklace, but she never said it was really a lie. She said that she said things that came out as a lie, which means you lied about having the necklace, which was so silly to lie about getting a necklace, you know? Like, that was just very silly. She said she was trying to impress people, I guess. I don't know. But, like, let's just be real, you guys. Like, she got caught in a lie. Lisa called her out. She didn't know how to, you know, get out of it. But then the crazy part is, like, she doubled down on it on the Watch What Happens Live. She doubled down and said that she bought the necklace. Like, why are you lying about that? You know, I don't know. I'll share my thoughts about this at the end of this, but yeah, sorry guys. I told you I'm sick. I'm so sorry. Okay. All right. So yeah, Bronwyn's a liar. And so yeah, basically the entire like talk at the table is about Lisa, and then Angie says that she compares Lisa to Jen Shaw, which, and then even Angie, right after she said it, she's like, that was a bad analogy. Yeah, Angie, she's not Jen Shaw. Jen Shaw is a horrible person. She scammed elderly people out of money. Lisa just borrowed money from like her friends and businesses. Like, she's nowhere near Jen Shaw. Jen Shaw was awful. She was great TV, but let's be real, guys. She was an awful person. So I didn't like that. So I like, you know, I'm a Stangy for life. I love my girl Angie K, but that wasn't cool that she did. But she realized that she fucked up. She did. So yeah. Like I said, so the rest of the conversation at the table is about Lisa. So then they all split up. They do some activities. Half of the group goes kayaking, so that's like Bronwyn, Whitney, and Heather. And Bronwyn and Heather are in a kayak with each other. And I will say this, I love how these girls can just fight with each other and then just like kind of just go on and do like these silly activities. Like, the other franchises could never. They could never. They would want that person off the show. Like Katie. That's what I love about this show. And then we have Angie, Meredith, I think Brittany, and Mary. They're fishing with Dusty. So that's fun. Alright, so now we're at nighttime. They're having dinner. Angie was not prepared for this. Girl, she got hot dogs with no buns, no condiments. There were some veggie burgers. Mary couldn't cook it because she can't cook it over a fire. So Mary's just eating a bagel. She didn't even have hamburger buns. She had bagels. So Mary's just biting into a bagel. We got some marshmallows. People are eating hot dogs on a stick. And, you know, the lunch was way better than this dinner. So while they're all around the fire, kikiing with each other, Brittany randomly brings up the dick sucking comment that Whitney made. Just the most random shit ever. Brittany, well, she's good for bringing up something random. Oh, rewind. She made an announcement that her and Jared got engaged, and then they broke it off. They got engaged in December, I think. Okay, back to what we're talking about. So yeah, Brittany brings up the dick sucking thing, was like, you know, I don't think that was cool that you said that. And then Whitney's like, you talked about my business and my business failed. Like, she admits that her business was a failure, which is very big of her to admit that. So yeah, she says that her business failed and it's very embarrassing. She, you know, the livelihoods of her employees, you know, she lost millions of dollars and thousands of customers, and her employees had nothing. Her business failed. And then Brittany tries to like hug her, and then she's like, please, like, I don't want to hug you. It was so fucking funny. She's like, I don't want to hug you. And then Brittany's like, I'm still upset about the dick sucking comment. And then her and Meredith kind of get into it, because Meredith is like, I find you so uninteresting. And Brittany's like, this like really hurts me because we were really good friends, Meredith. And Meredith's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, we're not friends. She's like, yeah, we were really good friends. Like, you would call me. And Meredith's like, when have I ever called you? And Brittany's like, you've called me. And Meredith's like, what, once? And Brittany's like, twice. I don't care what you guys say. I don't care what you guys say. I like Brittany. She's needed. And then like they're doing some more Blair Witch Project stuff at the end. Apparently like there's like this Mormon ghost that was haunting the area. I'm not even sure if it's true. But yeah, and then it kind of ends like that. Oh, and sorry, there was a flashback of Angie and Lisa talking. Angie's like, was calling Lisa, was saying you should come on the trip, and Lisa's like, no, I have business. I'm like, I'm not gonna say names, but like, with Blake and Ben. It's Blake Lively and Ben Affleck. I think it was like a Sundance thing, I don't know. But yeah, I heard that is because she was negotiating her contract. That's why she wasn't on the trip. That's what Reddit is saying. I don't know. But yeah, that was it. Like I said, it was a pretty solid episode. It was an hour and 15 minutes, and then we had Watch What Happened Lives with Angie K and Demi Lovato. They both looked incredible. Yeah, so I'll tell you my thoughts. Everyone here is needed. This was a heavy Lisa Barlow episode. She wasn't even here. She's needed. Like, say what you want about her, but, you know, she's needed. I like everyone on this cast. This is probably the only franchise that I like everyone on, because there's some like some shows where I really don't like them, like Orange County. Like I don't like Emily. I don't like her. I don't like Gretchen for like lots of reasons, and because of like, I'm not even gonna get into it, but you guys know why I don't like them. Yeah, so this is the only cast where I genuinely like everyone. I feel like they're all needed. And I will give you my thoughts on that one housewife I was telling you about earlier. Bronwyn. I used to really like Bronwyn last season. I thought she was a great addition. I liked her relationship with Todd in ways that I can't really explain, because I mentioned in my other videos, I also like older men. So, like, I get their dynamic. There's some things I didn't like, but I do think that they're really good together. However, I think Bronwyn, I think she saw that she was a fan favorite, and I think it's kind of getting to her head, and I can already clock it. Episode 1, even her confessional, she's acting like she's better than everyone, and that's not the Bronwyn that I like. She is a liar. I like, you know, she's a liar, you guys, and there's something not right. I'm feeling it in my bones. There's something not right, and that really makes me sad, because like I said, I really like Bronwyn, but there seems to be an air about her that's not sitting right with me. Like when Angie K came onto the scene, remember, no one really liked Angie K at first. Then she came in like, oh, you know, she's a fan favorite, and I think that she plays into it in a good way. I think this has gone to Bronwyn's head. Again, it's only episode 1. I could just be imagining things, but this is just what I'm feeling, which sucks. So like I said, I really like Bronwyn. Yeah, so I hope that she kind of comes back down to earth right now. Okay, that being said, that's it. It was really quick. I don't even know how many minutes I've been talking. Oh, we're like 20 minutes. So yeah, really quick recap. Like I said, it was only one setting, so it wasn't like we were jumping all over the place. Maybe episode 2 we'll get a little bit more of that. But everyone was fighting. There's camping, Blair Witch stuff. I mean, it was a pretty solid episode. Really good. I would give it maybe like an 8 out of 10. Solid episode. Yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I will be back next week recapping episode 2 of this, and yeah, thanks again so much for watching, you guys, or listening, sorry, for listening. It really means a lot to me that you guys took the time out of your day to sit and listen to me talk about Housewives. So, yeah, thanks so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye.